So the first app is Quizlet. Quizlet is probably one of my favorite apps of all time. I am obsessed with it. I use it for every single class. As you can see, my Quizlet is super duper organized. I organize it by classes, and I make sets for basically every subject. I honestly don't know what I would do without this app. My favorite features are the Learn, which is like multiple choice, and then I also like the Writing, which is when you write the answer out, and then I also of course love Test, which is a great way to practice for the actual test.
It's not for me to say.
Next up is the app Duolingo. Duolingo is a super popular language learning app, plus it's completely free, which is great. I'm currently learning Spanish, but they have a bunch of different languages, as you can see. I have like Czech and Hindi and Welsh and Navajo. And then each language has a bunch of different lessons, and then you can do the lessons to earn a crown once you've like completed it. And the questions in each lesson get harder the more you do them, so it's a great way to review. I like to use this to review the the lessons that I learned in class, but it's also just a great way to learn a new language. Desmos is a great app to use when you're doing math or just need to check your math work. It is a graphing calculator app, and it also does like formulas and equations. As you can see, I'm just inputting a formula. This is a quadratic formula, and then it'll graph it for you. Just super helpful if you don't have a graphing calculator. You can also put in like equations like the cosine of 40, and then it'll give you the answer. So it's just a great app to have when you're doing math homework and don't have access to one of those fancy calculators. The Google Drive app is pretty self-explanatory, but I had to put it in here because it is probably one of my most used school apps on my phone. So I use this to create any document that I need for school, and then I organize them in by class period, as you can see. I love how it is linked to Google Docs and Google Slides and Google Sheets and also Google Classroom, so it's just great to have everything in one place. And yeah, this is another app I talk about a lot. It's Forest, and basically in Forest you can plant a tree based on the amount of time that you want to study, and then once you plant a tree you cannot leave the app, because if you leave the app the tree will die. So this is a great way to stay focused and stay off your phone when you're studying. You can also add friends and stuff, so you can like compete with each other to see how much you've studied, which is a great way to stay motivated. So another app that I like to use is Spotify. I don't listen to music that much, but when I do, I like using this app because not only can you listen to your own playlist, you can also listen to playlists by other people. I like listening to playlists by Sadie Aldis and TBH Studying and Study Quill. When I'm studying though, I really like to listen to this playlist by TBH Studying because it's full of classical music, so it doesn't distract you from your work, but then it's still not completely silent, if you know what I mean. Next up is the Khan Academy app, which I love. I love using it to review the subjects that I learn in school. They have a bunch of different courses for all grades, and then they also have an SAT test prep section, which I've been using recently to practice for my SAT. They have a bunch of full-length tests along with practices specific for reading and writing, and it's such a great way to get your learning on the go. Another great app is the podcast app. This has been gaining popularity recently, but I highly recommend checking it out because there are so many different podcasts to choose from. So whether you want to learn more about business or personal development or crystals or health, there's something for everyone. Personally, I like to use this app when I'm driving to school or in the car because it's a great way to pass the time. Another app is Google Classroom, which I know you can only really use if your teachers use it, but I wanted to throw this in here because it's probably one of my most used apps, along with Google Drive, because I do everything Google. I love using this to keep track of all the homework and assignments that I have, so my teachers will will post the assignments on Google Classroom. So if I forget anything, all the information is here. And honestly, I don't even know how many times I've been saved by this app when I've forgotten an assignment. It is amazing. Last but not least is the app called iScanner. So iScanner is a app that you can use to scan documents from your phone. So you can open the camera on iScanner and then you can scan any piece of paper. It'll automatically scan it for you, so you don't need to crop anything. And then like so. So I use it to scan like papers that my teachers will give me just so I don't lose them. I also like scanning my notes like I just did here so I can study them when I'm on the go. So this is just a great way to reduce the amount of paper that you have and to not lose anything.
It's not for me to say.